Hello and welcome to SweetSpotDFS. This is a lineup construction video for the 2020 Wyndham Championship. Sorry for this video getting out so late. I've had a pretty busy week with work for my primary job as well as my personal life. So hopefully if you are watching this before lineup lock, you get a little bit of an advantage because I do have some good stuff to bring to you. I wish I would have got this out earlier, honestly. So let me go ahead and bring up the spreadsheet. That way you can look at something while I remind you that you can watch this at a faster speed. If you're on desktop, go ahead, drag the mouse over the screen. You're going to find a gear icon somewhere down here. Drill down on that. You'll find playback speed. I prefer 1.5, but you could choose 2 times speed. Cut the video in half. On mobile, top right hand corner, 3 dots that make a vertical line. Drill down on that. You'll find playback speed there as well. I will have timestamps in the description so you can get to any part of the video that you find interesting or important. Okay. So what I have up right now is my notes page, which harbors the bucket system that I go over every single week when I come up with the lineup construction video. I'm not going to talk about it much. I know I say that all the time and I end up doing, but this time we're going to stay as minimal as possible. If you're new here, basically all this is, sure, I have a top 5 bucket, but we're not going to talk about the top 5 bucket. We're going to talk about the top 10 bucket, which what it entails is basically looking at each year and seeing what the finishing position, what range that finished inside the top 10 that they had either last year, so in 2019, that'd be in 2018, or last week, 2019 would be the week before. So obviously we had 2 golfers in 2019 that had a 1 to 20th place finish the week before, and then I tally up the totals, come over here, find the count. Let me bring up this up here. So we bring the count, tally all of them up, and then do a percentage of how, that bucket, how much of it has finished inside the top 10. So as you can see, golfers who did not play the year before as well as the week before are your highest percentages of finishing inside the top 10. Now, all this should do is just give you a little bit more confidence in finding these golfers and playing them. Whether or not you want to, it just depends on your combination that you want to use. I will talk about combinations soon. So those are definitely the 2 highest for each bucket for last year and last week. Pretty darn close to being the same buckets, also being the finishing positions, finishing ranges being the highest in each bucket would be first to 20 and a missed cut. So as you can see, their percentages are fairly high in comparison to the others that are here in the next 3, the 4, 5, and 6. And that means this is your ranking right here. I'm sorry, I didn't go over that, but yeah, your ranking is in this column. Here's your last year 1, or your last week 1, last year 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 in there. So you can see not very high. And then if you look at every single year, how often does it happen? We can see the last year 1s happen nearly 2 times, if not more, every single year. Sure, the last year 2s, there was a goose egg here in 2016, but we'll talk about 2016 because, well, I don't think the last year stat really matters for 2016, but the last week stat kind of does, because 2016 was the John Deere Classic that preceded this. You'd had to have been there in the preview video for us to talk about it, but 2016 is kind of a weird year. Like I don't want to really include it. In fact, I even have numbers here excluding 2016. So you can see how it changes just slightly. Pretty much still stays the same. This last year bucket 1 goes down significantly, but not really in percentage, because everything else kind of goes down as well. But the bump would go up to the 2s then if you were excluding 2016. Why exclude 2016? Well, the rest of the years either had the FedEx St. Jude or the PGA Championship, and it was the majority of the time PGA Championship that preceded this tournament. So we have that this year. So why not use that information? Okay, so that's all I'm going to talk about that. Only spent like 3 minutes. That's pretty good. Talking about the bucket system. I then go over, I also calculate all the, or I capture, that's the word I'm looking for, all of the bucket combinations, and then, you know, kind of hand mark them down here so you can see like last year ones and last week ones. So what I would call a 1-1. So anytime you follow me when we talk about this, 21 instances of a 1-1 finishing inside the top 10. So I do that here, but then I also come down here and kind of tally up a top 5 and top 10. So obviously you can see top 10, 21 counts. Well, we had 11 counts inside the top 5. It's not every single year we see a last year one, last week one. We didn't see one in 2018, I believe. 2018 just had a whole, it was an odd year where we see, you know, a lot of 6s that showed up. Like, sure, we see 1s, we see 2s, we don't see any 3s, but really weird for 2018. I have no idea why. There isn't anything that really stands out. So this is obviously 2018. If you look at it, you know, these golfers here that have these 60th place finishes the year before, nothing really like jumps out saying, hey, we could see something like this. I mean, maybe CT Pan, that was his first time playing. Maybe you give a little cushion to first time players. I don't know. But like DA Points had played here before. His recent form was awful coming into this tournament. CT Pants was good. David Hearn was right in the middle. So like, you know, I don't know what to make of 2018. I suppose we could even do a deeper dive here. You know, all these golfers did not play the week before. All these golfers, as in the guys who had a last year finishing position of like 60 to 80. But if we were to go ahead and pull something like this up, this would be our last year 2s. Just trying to find, or actually, you know what? What did our salaries? I mean, we got a lot of top 20 finishes here at the top. Shane Lowry missed it. Some of these we can kind of predict. It's just that when we get down to lower price, you know, like CT Pan, like how did he finish in the top 10? You know, was there any kind of predictor that we could see? Obviously, it was not playing the week before. To me, that's really the only thing that steps out. That's why I do the bucket system, that's just one more piece to figuring out, you know, someone's success at a tournament. So anyways, let's not continue going further into that. But 2018 is really the only odd year, but every other year prior to that looked to be pretty normal. 2016, a lot of 1-1s in here. Even if we were to cut, you know, like let's say we cut 6 of those and it ends up being 15, ends up being 23% still. You know, it's still a pretty high amount. So here are the common buckets that I'm going to be really looking at. 1-1s, 3-1s, anything that has a last week 1 seems pretty good to play. Outside of that, then you're looking at your last year 1s that combine with last week 2, last week 3. I mean, it kind of goes down the list as you would imagine. Really, the only ones that stand out really shows that the last week stats probably more important in trying to find the top 10. But yeah, I mean that's top 10. If we look at top 5, really 5-1, 6-1 is down here. 4-1 is right here. So it drops down significantly. And we're looking at, again, 1-1s for top 5 finishes, 3-1s for top 5 finishes. And then it goes down a little bit differently than what we've seen before. I mean, it goes back down to 2s for a lot of these that are already at 2s for top 10. So really interesting to think about that. I mean, maybe you round out your lineups with 5-1s and 6-1s. You know, since we see 6-1s up here, there's 4 of them. Of course, 2018, one of those weird years, we see 3 6-1s there. I mean, if you take that out, 6-1's not really one that we want to look at. But anyways, wanted to show you that. I will be targeting, I mean, when we see 1-1s and 3-1s, definitely going to be playing a little more of those golfers. Well, I also go one step further and kind of do like a salary analysis of all the years that I actually have salary data. So that would obviously be 2019, 2018, 2017. Not sure why this is spaced out so much. Why is it? No reason why. So let's go ahead and close it up. There you go. Okay, so when we look at this, we can see the salaries, you know, either in the top 5 or the top 10. Top 5 doesn't really show anything, honestly. Like, we have a pretty good range. We see like no one in the 9K range. Sure, we do see one, but in comparison, look how many golfers are over 10K that finish inside the top 5, and then how many are in the 7K range. So it's dominated by 7K and, you know, over 10K. Perhaps this is a week or a tournament to always play stars and scrubs. Probably a good idea. We can also look at the salaries in the top 10. This kind of also figures out a little bit, you know. I mean, I was just about to say it's going to figure out which salary to play, but I don't really believe in, like, you know, every year play someone that's $7,100. But I would say this: play someone that's between 7 and 3. Play someone between 7.5 and 7.7. Actually, 7.4 and 7.7. Or maybe we go 66 to 8. And then 71 to 75, maybe. I don't know. Because we do see a 69 and a 7. So maybe 67 to 7.1. You know, kind of do something like that. But then I go a little bit further, kind of give you a little bit of a summary here. How many golfers, you know, are in these, you know, salary buckets and above? So 10K and above, we see 5 within the top 10. 9 to 10K, we see 4 inside the top 10. 8 to 9, 4. 7 to 8, there's your big bucket, so that there's 15 golfers in that one. That's nearly 50%. So really, how I kind of look at it is play 50% of your lineups with 7 to 8K golfers. In a way, it makes sense to me. I also have the winner kind of salary analysis here. $9,700 for the average salary. Now, that includes one golfer at 73. If I scroll over here and see what our top 5 looks like, we had a winner 11.5 in 2017. I believe that was Henrik, so the favorite during that year. And then we had 10.4, which was Snedeker. 7.3, which was Poston, but 11.2, who was Webb Simpson. So really, when you see this, inside the top 2, we see one 11K guy over the last 3 years. Don't be afraid to play an 11K guy. I think you should, honestly. And I think that should be Webb Simpson. But yeah, we see the maximum 11.5. I mean, this kind of analysis here, not that big of a deal, honestly, to go over winners. I suppose I could have done top 5 or top 3 even. But you can kind of already see it when we viewed that other piece of information. One thing I find really interesting is average salary inside the top 10 is $8,068. Now, maybe this would be better to look at top 5 just to see what the average salary is inside the top 5. Well, why don't we do that? Let me change the formula on the fly. 48. And yeah, 48. Then I think this one. Okay, so if we do top 5, it's 8,500, which is way over the salary. You know, the average salary you can actually have on DraftKings. So it looks like your top guys are going to be pretty expensive. But obviously looking into the 10K or top 10 and above, we can dig a little deeper. It just shows you want golfers. If you're gonna find golfers inside the top 5, you definitely need to play. Gosh, I would say at least 2 of your golfers over $8,500. Well, you need to play an 11K golfer, and then you also need to play someone in the 8 to 9K range, most likely, you know, something like that, 8 to 10K range, and maybe 2, because 1, 2, okay, there's 2 there, 1, 2, 1, 2, so 2 golfers, and you can see 11, 2, 9, 5, 10, 4, 11, 6, 11, 5, 10. Looks like a pretty stars and scrubs approach, honestly. 2 golfers of 10K and above, or even 95 and above. I mean, look at what's, you know, 6th place down here was a bunch of 96. So I guess there's a way to do it. But anyways, looking at the salaries, that would be your analysis for salary. I don't think it's really that important to look at. It's just fun to kind of see, you know, like the 7K range definitely should be your glue to your lineups. And then obviously target someone in the 11K range. Okay, so we already talked about stats when it came to in the PG or in the preview show. So I'm not going to talk about stats. What I am going to talk about is tee time pairings. That is the next piece that I would actually look at when pairing golfers together. So what I did is basically I looked at birdie or better and basically checked to see who was in the top 10. I could open this up and show all the birdie or better golfers. Sure, I will. So I'm going to go all the way to here and hide. Basically, this count over here is all of these right here. You can see Webb Simpson is top 20 in this field in every stat except for off the tee and around the green. Just so you know, that's where I kind of hide this. But if we looked at birdie or better, you can see everybody is highlighted that is in the top 20. That's what this would entail. Obviously, you don't see top 20 going further down. So this is top 20 birdie or better. I've highlighted everyone. If I liked them, I highlighted them in green. If I was cautious of them, I highlighted them in yellow. And then, let me put it a different way. I highlighted them in green if they were playing together. You know, if they were playing together with another guy that was also top 20 in birdie or better. I've also highlighted golfers in green that I like, you know, paired together. I highlighted golfers in yellow because I wasn't sure of their group. You know, I liked their group, but not enough to actually make them green. And then golfers that are highlighted in red are golfers who are in a group that I don't like, but their stats actually point out to be pretty decent. So if we go ahead and look at each game, we can see which golfers are paired together, and I can tell you why I like them or not. So Charlie Hoffman, I like. He shows up. In a way, I kind of like Robbie Shelton and Robert Streb. Shelton has a lot of upside. I don't know how old he is, but it seems like he's a rookie, or he was a rookie not too long. I mean, I know he's not a rookie, but he was a rookie not too long ago. Robert Streb used to be, I mean, I wouldn't call him a stalwart, but he used to be solid. So I do like Robert Streb. I like Robbie Shelton. Did I call him Robbie Streb? If anything, if I did, it's Robert Streb. And I do like Charlie Hoffman. I think this is actually a course that Hoffman can do well at. I think maybe a deeper dive into his recent form. Oh, why don't we look at his recent form right now? Recent form, he's in the top 20 for recent form. I suppose 7,100. We can go down here and look at him. 7,100. What did he do? Charlie Hoffman. 25th position at the Barracuda. Missed the cut at the 3M Open. 7th place at the Workday Charity Open, and 41st at the Travelers. So basically, oh man, that's a little bit of a hodgepodge, honestly. Like, these two cancel each other out, and then these basically give you the average of this. Not really, but kind of. I don't know, now that I look at that I like that much. You know, like Charlie Hoffman missing the cut at 3M Open. Now, DJ also missed the cut. So did Brooks, I believe, right? Brooks missed the cut. Yeah, I mean, Brooks missed the cut. Fleetwood missed the cut. Paul Casey missed the cut. You know, like, I guess I won't hold it against him that much. And even Brooks missed the cut at the Workday Charity Open. So I think he can round into form pretty decent, I suppose. So anyways, that's enough Charlie Hoffman talk. Going to group 2 or game 2, Maverick McNeely, Jason Kokrak, and Scott Stallings. All golfers I like. And very good bucket combinations to go along with it. Obviously, Maverick McNeely is a 1-1. I like 1-1s. I mean, same goes with Robbie Shelton up here. But like Kokrak, he played in the charity event with Pat Perez today, going against Charles Schwartzel and Brendan Grace. He looked good. I mean, him and Pat Perez look good. So putting these guys together, I'm not sure what their camaraderie is. It's going to be like. Maverick McNeely's obviously super young. Kokrak and Stallings could be friendly towards each other. I have no idea. But either way, I like them. Scrolling down, I do like Patrick Rogers, but this 6-1 kind of scares me. And I don't think he's much of a Bermuda golfer. And I do like a little bit of Scott Harrington, but not much to go with John Stendon. A lot of hype around Brian Stewart. I get it. It's not a terrible group, in all honesty, but I don't really like 5-2s or 6-2s, so I'm going to stay away from that. Johnny Vegas being a 1-1. Birdie or better guy. I do like Johnny Vegas. I don't like who he's playing with. I would have said it like 3 years ago, I like David Hearn. Last year, I liked KH Lee, but this year, I don't know. I think I'm going to stay away from that. This is a pretty decent group. This is, I think, an under the radar group. You know, if Watney and Schwartzel could get hot, that could actually also spark Rafael Cabrera Bello, who's been struggling mightily. So I kind of like, I like this group, even though I don't really so much like Rafa. And Schwartzel being a 1-6 kind of concerns me. You know, coming back to the notes page and going down to see where the 1-6 is. You know, like, where do we see a 1-6? Only happened once inside the top 10 over the last 6 years. Does he break the mold and become the second golfer? I don't know. I don't know if I like that much. Pat Perez, this is actually an interesting group. They're all last week ones, which is a huge bonus. I'm going to go ahead and highlight these in yellow. Oops. So I don't know how I feel about them, but I do kind of like them. The next one, Munoz, Neiman, and Long, young golfers who have a lot of upside potential. Probably going to stay away from Adam Long. I don't like that bucket of 3-6, but these two golfers, decent. Their ownership levels over here that I have them at, I think that's pretty reasonable. And this is over 100 lineups, so you know, I think that's pretty reasonable. Let's see here. Not really gonna talk about this. Don't like that group. Obviously, a big group here. Simpson, Todd. Todd and Simpson are friends, so that helps quite a bit. I think they're gonna have a pretty decent time. Does that leave Sungjae kind of in the shadows? Possibly. Is that gonna hurt his chances? Probably not. Like, I don't think he's much of an extrovert. So, you know, if we can see good golf out of this, pairing any of these two golfers up together, I think is going to be pretty beneficial, pretty decent. The next group, a lot of talk on Billy Ho. I don't like his bucket combination. I don't like the golfers he's golfing with. Spieth, Koepka, and Rose. I got to highlight this. I don't understand why I didn't. But you know what? This is actually a really good group to talk about. So I could see Spieth bringing down the entire group. Like, how much whining he does on the golf course, I could see perturbing Koepka or Rose. And I just think the whole attitude of the group might not even be that good. I could be wrong. Like, one of them might get a spark off of the other guy. You know, whether or not they like each other or whatever, it is possible that they could play well onto each other. I'll say this. I think I'm just going to fade this whole group completely. I might even play them. Here's what I'll do. Right away, this is going to be something new that I'm going to do. I'm going to actually... Here, let me bring all of them up. So I'm gonna do this, and Justin Rose with Jordan, Brooks with Jordan, Justin Rose with Brooks. Okay, so this is your only combination. I'm gonna do something like this, and these are the only lineups I'm playing them in. So I'm gonna be playing these guys in 2 of my lineups, and I'm probably just gonna throw them in a winner take all, and just leave it at that. So we'll take some of their ownership away and apply it to somebody else. I'll do that a little bit later. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna stay away from those golfers. Actually, you know what? I'm going to kind of go back on that and then put them all in their individual. So there we go. 3. That's all. That's as much as I'm playing them in. It's 3 lineups. Okay, so scrolling down, Fleetwood is paired up with Furyk and Fratelli. I don't really like the group in general. It has potential. Don't get me wrong. I don't even know. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna highlight it this color, which means don't play. Man, I guess I'm just gonna do this. This is gonna tell me. This is gonna let me know the golfers I'm just not playing, and I'll play them in one lineup together. That's it. Yeah, it has potential. That's the only thing that I'm afraid of. Like that, I have a FOMO issue with these golfers. I'm not gonna play a lot of them. Going down here, I guess this group is an interesting one. Danny Lee, Burgoon, and Redmond. We got 2 golfers with, you know, top 20 birdie or better stats here in this field with Danny Lee and Burgoon. I don't like Danny Lee's bucket combination, but I do like Burgoon's. I think a lot of people will be playing Doc Redmond, and my model tells me to play him in 4 lineups out of 100, so it's not a lot. But this is an interesting group. I don't know what to make of it. I'm looking at my model telling me ownership for this group, like Lucas Glover should be a high owned guy, but I'm not sure. Actually, I don't know if that's a bad play, in all honesty. Like, as a 6K golfer, it's not terrible. So, maybe I'm just going to move on. Next group that we have, Ryan Moore, Ben Martin, and David Berganio Jr. I obviously don't know who this golfer is. Ryan Moore, I like quite a bit. This is what I'm going to do. I like Moore. I mean, there could be a case made for Ben Martin in the past, but in the future or in the present, I don't think so. I don't like that. This is an interesting group here. Grace, Henley, and Lahiri. Lahiri is in the top 20 for birdie or better, but, you know, Brandon Grace was playing well. He just recently got COVID, and Henley also had been playing well. So, super interesting. I don't really like the 5-4 combination that goes with Henley, so that's why this group is in yellow. I might play 1 or 2 of them. We'll see. Scrolling down, don't really see anybody. This is kind of your junk range. This is at the end of the round. Golfers that you really don't know. I know a lot of people kind of are on Chris Baker and Tom Lewis. I don't see anyone that I would really want to play. So scrolling down a little bit more. Get down to Peter Uihlein, who is top 20 in birdie or better. He is playing with Sam Ryder and DJ Trahan. I actually do like Sam Ryder quite a bit. So why don't we make this group a green group? I don't know much about DJ Trahan. I know he was like top 10 in a couple events a while ago. I don't think that's where he finished. I mean top 10 as in once he was up on the top 10 leaderboard. So I don't know. I don't know exactly about that. One of my favorite plays as we come to, actually, I can't even move that far back down because we have Keith Mitchell, Siwoo Kim, and Zach Johnson. This group could be pretty dynamite. I will say I don't like Keith Mitchell's bucket combination. But Siwoo Kim and Zach Johnson kind of stay relatively unscathed. So it's a decent. I guess I'll put these guys yellow. Then we have Stuart Sink, Scott Piercy, and Michael Kim. these two golfers kind of your veteran journeyman, I guess. Sink obviously has won a major, but I don't know how I feel about playing any of those guys together. I really do like Sergio, but I'm not a huge fan of Brandt this week. And JT Poston, I know he's a Carolina guy, but I'm not sure. I think even Snedeker is a Carolina guy. I'm just not sure how I feel about either of them. Snedeker, this, course history might play a huge factor. If so, then he'd be a good play. But other than that, I don't know how I feel. I don't really like Snedeker this week, but I do like Sergio. Patrick Reed, Paul Casey, Shane Lowry, very good group here. Probably one of the lowest odds group. I mean, besides the Brooks, Rose, and Spieth line, and actually I'm not sure. Is that one even? So 47, 69. Nice. Yeah, 69. That's what that equals out to be. 50. Yeah, so 66.82. So just 13 points worse than that Brooks Koepka lineup. But in all honesty, do we really think Jordan Spieth is that good of odds? I don't know. But anyways, this is a good group. I think using these golfers together would be pretty beneficial. Not really. I don't really want to talk about everybody. Kevin Kisner's not in a good group. I don't like Russell Knox. I know there's a lot of CH3 love out there. I can't play Russell Knox. I can't do it. I do like Chesson Hadley though. I do like Sam Burns. They're both birdie or better. And they're all last week ones, which to me just is music to my ears. I'll probably be playing a lot of Chesson Hadley, and I will be playing as much Sam Burns as I can. We'll see how much I actually do. Denny McCarthy. I should actually make this red. I actually do like the group though, in all honesty. I do like the group. So I don't know exactly how to feel about that. Guess I can just highlight all of them in yellow. Xinjun Zhang, Seamus Power, Bill Haas. That's an interesting group altogether. You got two birdie makers over here in Xinjun and Seamus. Maybe all of them together. Ends up being a pretty dynamite team. I do like Christian Bezuidenhout. He's playing with Luke Lisson and Harry Higgs. That's actually not a bad group. Let me just go ahead and highlight that green and not talk about it. And then here at the bottom, Will Gordon, kind of a standout. Christopher Ventura, also a standout. They're both birdie or better guys. So interesting to look at that. So that's your tee time pairings. That actually was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. I'm not going to go into swing stats or grass stats. Again, I talked about that in the preview. But what I ended up doing was creating a model that really took into account tee to green, because that was a big stat. Recent form was another big stat from last year. So it was recent form, tee to green, and 2020 Bermuda stats. And I incorporated that with the buckets that I have, and also the top 20 stats. So basically, the higher top 20 stats that someone has, the bigger their number was, also dependent on their bucket combination. So Webb being a 2-4, not very good, but obviously having 10 top 20 stats, that's pretty huge. So that's why he is at the top. Sergio is next. I don't like Jordan Spieth. Him being at 17 is the other thing that this model actually goes by is looking at the bucket combination, or just at the last year buckets. If we go back to the notes and we look at, the table that houses the bucket combination, when we look at top 10, basically, here's your last year sixes. We had 5 instances where a last year 6 made the top 10. Now, over the last 6 years, only 3 have made it. So that's 50%. When we look at, we go by buckets here, scroll down here, we don't have a lot of golfers. So if I'm making 100 lineups, 50% of my lineups, obviously it's going to be 50 lineups. This ends up being 46 because I rounded down. But of those, then it basically looks at the golfers with the best, you know, grass stats. I mean, it does an overall look. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is that I look at. I think as long as you're positive tee to green, which I think, yeah, Spieth is positive. So this is a big reason. These guys right here probably have the highest ownership because they're positive. Not really, but why would Austin Cook be up there? I think it's recent form. Austin Cook really 48.2? Okay. That's obviously including the Barracuda. Interesting. Okay. Well, either way, this last year 6, really difficult to kind of go with. I might just pick 1 or 2 golfers from here and just pepper it. You know, just use them the entire time. Spieth at 9,000 is just way too much money. Way too much money. And even if we go to our notes and look at 6.5s, like how often does a 6.5 actually finish inside the top 10? You know, at 9K, we'd want them inside the top 5 most likely. But I'm not even seeing 6.5. 6.5, 0 times. That's hard. I mean, what's the best last year? A 6-1. 4 times it's finished inside the top 10. We go here to the 6-1s. We have Austin Cook, JJ Spawn, Patrick Rogers, Hank Lebioda, and Peter Uihlein. So, although the model spits this out, I'm really thinking about just changing the ownership. And that's kind of what this column is right here. So I think what I would do differently, so I have 46 to play with. Geez. Let's go like 15. 15. 10. Oh, maybe 3. Actually, how much did 6.2s? I don't really want to exclude Lucas Glover. 6.2s, 0%. Oh, man. Here's what we're going to do. I am going to flip some of these numbers around. I'm going to keep this 15. I don't know if I'm going to give Uihlein 15. I'll give him 5. We'll give Spawn. Let's keep him at 3. I'm just not going to do it. So we have 33. Let me give 10 here. That's 43. Yeah, that's fine. I'll give like, well, we already said we're playing Spieth in 3 lineups, so that's basically what we're going to keep that at. Let's get rid of this. Let's just kind of make this more watered down. I'm not sure exactly what I should have. You know, when we look at course history, Spieth, JJ Spawn actually has good course history. These guys here, probably your best course history guys. I'm okay fading most of these guys down here. I guess I like Patrick Rogers just a little bit more now. So maybe that's where I'm going to put most of my ownership is on Patrick Rogers. I do like Patrick Rogers. I can't, he's a good golfer. So we have 3 there. I guess we, put Lucas Glover in 3 as well. Yeah, I'm going to put 3 in all the golfers that I just don't care to play. And then kind of go back from ownership from that. 3, how much does that equal? 18. So 28 is what we're looking for. Actually, I'm going to bring down Austin Cook. 48. And maybe bring down Lebiota to 1. 46. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. This is how I'm going to do it. We're going to play a lot of Patrick Rogers. A little bit longer than I should have, but I did see this Jordan Spieth thing, and I'm like, there's no way. Okay, so go back and sort this out again. And basically look at other things that we, you know, well, there's a little bit of this that needs to also go by salary. You know, when we have a lot of these, actually, that's not even a lot of ownership at the top for salary. Remember, we do want, you know, 2 golfers of 10K and above. And really 95 and above, but I'm going to include 93 and above, which I think my main guys are going to be these 2 right here. It's going to be Webb Simpson and Harris English. So we said we're going to play Brooks in just 3 lineups. So I'm going to put 3 here. I do like Patrick Reed. I do like Harris English. I think we can leave. Actually, I'm going to give I'm going to keep all these numbers the same, except for I'm going to add Brooks's ownership right here. Nope. We'll give 20 there, 27 to Webb, and then everything else is going to stay the same. Billy Horschel's already a low number. I guess I don't really care all that much. I do like Brendan Todd. So I guess we already gave Jordan Spieth's ownership away. We should have probably just done it by salary, in all honesty. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe the top guys, that would make sense. I do like Sungjae, and I think that's a pretty good play. Like if you were to do Sungjae like this. I do like Sergio. In all reality, I probably would have taken Jordan Spieth's ownership and added it to Brendan Todd's, which is pretty low, lower than I would have expected. I do like Sergio, so I'm going to keep him at 19. I also do like Ryan Moore. We'll keep him there. You know what? The rest of this ownership, I think, is fine. In all honesty, I don't care too much for some of these golfers. I do like Todd though, so I need to find ownership that will go into Todd's ownership that will increase it. We can go by the 2s, last year 2s, or Todd was last year 1. Sorry, we go into the last year 1s. So Todd was at 2. Obviously, we gave away Brooks. I can give away Jim Furyk. I'm not gonna play Furyk. I'm gonna play him. I guess my FOMO is going to be just the 1. So that 9, I'm actually going to add to, where is he? Brendan Todd. So 9 is going here. Norlander's at 9. That's fine. Vegas is at 9. That's fine. I do like Bezuidenhout at 14. Perfect. Kisner, that's fine. I like that with Sam Burns. Sure. It's fine as well. Some of these I'm liking quite a bit. So then the lower ownerships down here, I guess I'm not too concerned about. So I think that's where we're gonna leave it for the 1s. I'm not gonna go through this all and do all of it like this, but actually, why not? Kind of just keep everything the same. We can go through this pretty quick. I kind of want to get more ownership on Todd. Maybe I will with some of these guys down here. Yeah, definitely. So let's count. We'll give 1 to him. We'll give 1 to him, but take 0. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No. 11. Sorry, Mr. Sendin, we're giving rid of you. So that's 13, 14. That's fine. So we can add 14. So I'm actually going to add 9 to them right now. So that leaves us with 5 extra that we can add on to anyone else. Might as well add on either to, Gellerman. I do not care about Gellerman. So we have 4. So we have 9 now that we can add. And now we have 5 again to add. Sure. There we go. That's fine with me. So basically the ones are done now. Now the model just spits out these numbers here. It has nothing to do with salary. It doesn't have anything to do. This is obviously my own biasy. It's really just looking at the bucket combination and determining, you know, how important that bucket combination is. I don't have anything with official world golf ranking or anything like that involved, but the rest of these guys, I mean, Sabatini at 5. I think this is all good ownership here. I think the model worked out pretty nicely. Equals 94. I like that. I do like Watney being up here at the top. Like, that's kind of cool. There really isn't anyone that's expensive in this last year 3 bucket. Can we just get rid of guys that we see down here that we know are just not going to do well? Everyone's kind of 1s and 2s. I'm cool with that. Yeah, all of this is pretty cool. I have no issues with the last year 3s and what that looks like for ownership. Here's one thing. I do not like Russell Knox. I just realized I shouldn't have made 0s up here at the top. I should have kept them at 1s. I don't want... I want the model to stay true to see if I screwed up when changing these or what. Yeah, that's fine, right? Did I change any? I guess I'll have to go back in the video and double check. Yeah, I don't want to change any of these on the other side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to play any Russell Knox. I'll play one lineup. I don't like Russell Knox. Really no one else in this that I don't like. So his 9, I'm going to put on Chesson Hadley. Then everyone else is going to have the same ownership. But yeah, I just don't like Russell Knox. He's burned me way too many times. Okay, so I forget how we got to the ownership of adding 3 to Harris English, but I guess I'll just leave it as is. When we look at the rest of these golfers, do I see anything I don't like? Nah, not really. I like it all. So we can go ahead and place the same here. Okay, so that's our ownership. We can take a live look now at what that has changed to. So we have Webb Simpson with 27 out of 100 that I would play him at. Sergio at 24, Todd at 24, Hadley at 22, English at 20, Patrick Rogers at 20, Watney at 16, and you can see the rest. Okay, let's go ahead and get into some lineups. Let's create some lineups based off of this information. Okay, so basically, let's just start out with what we can do. You know, can we put these guys together? We cannot. So I think it has to be between Harris English and Todd for one of these lineups. But we can do something like this, and right away I like it. So go ahead, copy them, put them right here, copy, and then we'll start it right here. We will paste this transposed. And you can see I have $700 to work with. Actually, why don't I do this? Here's my player pool for you guys. Everyone who is what? 5 and above, 7 and above. We'll go 10 and above. Here is my player pool. I don't know, what does that ownership equal up to be? So 232, what's that divided by 6? 3, 5. So it's like 35 lineups. You could, well, you can create more with these and in different, yeah, never mind. I'm gonna put that right here. This is basically my player pool. These are the golfers that I like. But yeah, here's the first one I'm gonna create, like right away. I could actually go up here and think about the golfers I don't like and how I can pair them up with everybody else. Certainly can do that, but what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is pair some of these guys up with actual golfers that I like. So, you know, something like this. So we have Rose and Koepka. Might as well add a couple cheaper golfers like these, get it back up to 78, and then try to add somebody around that 8K range. So it brings it down to 72. I'm guarantee, I shouldn't say guarantee. How about this? We can do this really quick. Just, I don't remember what their salaries are, so. We need someone 7-2. We can play Pat Perez, right? So there we go. I might have to rethink. But English, Patrick Rogers, and one of these. I don't really like pairing up a couple of last year 6s together, but no, we can't. I mean, if I go back to the notes and look at all the last year 6s, you're never going to see one that's more, or you're never going to see more than one. So, oh, wait. I guess I'll eat my words. We do see 3 in 2018. So I guess we can. Never mind. Words have just been eaten. Eaten? I really don't like all the red that's showing up already. So I'm going to put Patrick Rogers there. Sure, we can put Nick Watney up here, bring the number up a little bit. 7,700. Ooh, I didn't even see. I was missing on Mr. Bezuidenhout. 77. Obviously, Patrick Rogers fits perfectly. I might have to actually grab some golfers that are closer to that 7K range, but that works out. Ryan Moore at 81. I fit that here. Put a $6,400 golfer in Nick Watney, so he's showing up a little bit more than what we really want. You put Hoffman with Watney. Sure. We could also put Pat Perez with Nick Watney. It doesn't matter, but since we're kind of playing them all together, that's one way. So there we go. That could be my FOMO lineup for the Jordan Spieth, Justin Roses of the world. I can also look a little bit deeper into my ownership and try to determine, you know, which golfers I actually really do. So why don't we do this? I grab like top 20. So down to the 7s. There we go. So it's going to be 7 and above. That works out. So now my player pool is 25 golfers, which is fine. And we can actually sort this now by salary. Try to figure it out just a little bit easier. Here's what I'm going to do. Again, I'm just going to hand craft some of my favorite lineups. So what I'm going to do is basically put Webb in a bunch of these and see what I can do. Do like Harris English. I suppose we can just do this. So this ensures we have 2 golfers that are 10K and above. This ensures we have 2 golfers 9-3 and above. So we can start here. We can also look at the salary range. You know, that was important. You know, nothing's really lower than 6'9". So let's try to stay something like that, so we can find, you know, a couple golfers 7-3 and below, or 7-1 and below. I mean, we do like Johnny Vegas. We can add that here since we don't see many last year ones. I can add Sam Burns here. We're obviously gonna have to add someone a little bit cheaper to bump the salary up to get a better average. 64, be a little too low. Add Pat Perez to this one, Chesson to this one, and then just kind of continue on. Like, I do like Sam Burns. Let's add him, one that doesn't have green. We could put Henrik Norlander here as well, so we have 7,400. We put Hoffman there. 75. We could probably bump up to like an 8K golfer. So obviously, really like Ryan Moore. That brings us back down to 7-2. Why don't we put like Sam Burns in there, and then round that off with, we put a Hoffman in there. In a way, I don't want to have too many last year ones. I do want at least 2 last year ones. That is the thing. So these lineups should have 2 in them, and I should change if I don't see one. So like Vegas should be here. Watney's 64, Perez is 69. Can we do this? Sure can. Okay, so definitely want at least 2. It's kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say a rule, but something that would be smart to go by. Kind of wish I would have added Sergio to one of these lineups. I don't know if we can really put 85 in there. It makes it pretty difficult. Pretty difficult to put Webb with another 10K or 9-3 guy and above to go with these guys. I could actually change out Ryan Moore with Sergio and then drop Hoffman down to like Chesson. So that's obviously something, you know, doable. But I guess for the sake of time, let's keep it as is. I mean, this lineup I kind of like quite a bit. It turns out to be pretty decent. There's scores and ball strikers in that lineup. I do like that quite a bit. Might as well put our last year one that we can. Looks like Vegas might be in a lot of my lineups just because he fits that nice price mold. And I don't want to put too many last year 3s, but I suppose we can here and there. I can even put a Bezuidenhout in here. That's awesome. So here's basically 5 lineups that I like quite a bit. 5 lineups that I did quickly based off of my ownership. We're running at an hour long. There was a lineup that I did on the preview show, and I wish I remembered what it was or where it was. I believe I had something like this. I believe it started with Harris English. I do believe Sergio was on it. Sung Jae was on it. I'm gonna pull up that video. I'm gonna find it. You guys can't see the behind the scenes, but you might actually hear it. Okay, I'm gonna put my I'm just going to mute the video. Try to find it. I kind of know where it's at. Oh, there we go. Got it. So, weird thing about this is it actually includes Jim Furyk. put Jim Furyk there. That leaves 81. Joaquin Neiman. He is actually in the list. Ryan Moore. We don't have Ryan Moore. There you go. This was the lineup that I did in the preview video that I thought was really good based off of just stats alone, and it actually fits the bucket system quite nicely. So I'm actually going to leave that in my lineups as well. But that is actually going to be it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you got a little bit out of it. Talked a lot about, I went through the ownership with you guys. I probably should have done that on my own and then just showed you why I did what I did. But, you know, you got to go on the adventure with me. That way you can kind of see what is in my head when it comes to Crane lineups. But these are the golfers that are my favorite, that kind of come out on top when it comes to who I like the most, I suppose. Is that true? Let me make sure. Yeah, Lowry, Fleetwood. Okay, yep. So yeah, I mean, you can see it right here even. These are the golfers that I like quite a bit. What I will be doing going forward is basically creating lineups based off of, you know, who they're paired up with. You know, Reed and Casey, that'd be a good pairing to put together. Yeah, and then going from there and just seeing how it all works out. But hopefully you guys liked it, and I hope you guys do well this week. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the review video on Sunday. All right, bye.